Hello, everybody. It's Rattenborough. Please, don't tell Mr. Hoops. I think he wanted to do this lesson, but I would like to do it because I am a rodent, and sometimes my habitat gets destroyed. No one's ever destroyed Mr. Hoops's habitat. No one has destroyed your habitat. But, boy, I have friends who are animals, and every now and then, like if it's a bird and a neighbor cuts down the tree that bird lives in, that bird comes and has a talk with me. Well, let's look at a bird just to give you an idea. This is a bird that is extinct. It doesn't exist anymore. This is the passenger pigeon. The passenger pigeon was also called a wild pigeon. There used to be so many of them. Get this. There used to be as many passenger pigeons as all other birds in North America put together. That means if you took every robin, every sparrow, every blackbird, every starling, every pigeon, and everything, and put them in one room, that's how many passenger pigeons there used to be. So how in the world did they ever become extinct? Well, look at what the people are doing in this picture here. Look at how many passenger pigeons there are in the sky. They're shooting up in the sky, and they think that it's never going to end. Here's another picture that shows you what it looked like when a whole flock of passenger pigeons was flying across the sky. Some people said that it was like having a beautiful sunny day and suddenly a cloud came over and it lasted for hours. That's how long it took for the flock to pass by. How in the world did they ever become extinct? Well, their habitat was destroyed because people moved into the areas where they lived. These big flocks used to land in trees and whole forests. Well, if you cut those forests down, they had no place to land. So they would keep flying to where they thought there was another forest. But that forest was cut down. And then they would land in a field where people would cover them with nets, thinking, oh, there are millions of these. They're never going to stop flying up here. Well, you know what? If millions of people keep capturing them, and millions of people destroy their habitat, and millions of people shoot them thinking they're never going to stop, well, eventually they will become extinct. And what you're looking at now is the very last passenger pigeon that ever lived. Its name was Martha, and it died about 110 years ago. Well, it was because of habitat destruction and actually shooting and capturing the passenger pigeon that it became extinct. Nobody thought you could possibly make the passenger pigeon become extinct. Not something, it would be like me saying, oh, one day you're never going to see an ant, or one day you're never going to see a mosquito. There are so many of them, you think, where in the world? Oh, come on, they're going to be around all the time. That's what people thought of the passenger pigeon. Well, look at this map that shows you where the passenger pigeon lived in North America. You see that pink color? Well, it covers where we live. Plus, way far away from us, they were all over. Oh well. We better not do that to any other animals. We learned a big lesson from the passenger pigeon. We learned that other birds have a right to live. That's why you're not allowed to hurt a robin or a bluebird or a sparrow or anything else like that. No songbirds. You don't ever hurt them. And don't destroy their habitat. If you see a birdhouse, leave that birdhouse. Don't ever harm a birdhouse. Don't throw rocks at birds. Don't make them feel not welcome. That's a way of destroying their habitat. Okay? Anyway, let's have a review of all of the habitats that we've traveled to together. Well, the first was the Arctic habitat, with polar bears and very small plants that grow close to the ground. Whoa, it's cold there all the time. The next was a desert habitat of the Sonoran Desert. Remember that? With that little elf owl and the animals that are able to survive in a very hot climate. It's hot all the time. And then there's the animals of the East African savanna. I don't know if you can see, but at the bottom is that big acacia tree. And I want to get out of here because there are all kinds of animals with hooves, like those zebra that are running toward me, and I have to hide. Let me climb up the acacia tree. And next, we have one that's familiar to most of us, the animals of the temperate deciduous forest habitat. This is the kind of habitat that the passenger pigeon would have lived in. And then there was the tropical rainforest habitat with the animals that we learned about that live there. Whoa, the jaguar, lots of frightening things, that snake, the boa constrictor that lives there. Woo! And those big trees, the big trees of that rainforest. And here's a freshwater habitat. Lots of animals we know that live here, like the turtles and fish and snakes that live in the water too. And crabs and crayfish and, well, not crabs, they live in the salt water, but that's next. And finally, the animals of the saltwater habitat. All those things that live in salt water, the whales, the sharks, the eels, the electric eels, and the strange things that have to live way, way down in the water where it's so dark almost no light gets through. Woo! I wouldn't want to be one of those things. Anyway, that was it for our review. And now we're going to go through some words. But I think Mr. Hoops has already done that part. So I'm going to say goodbye. It's been a lot of fun reading to you. I really, really hope you learned a lot. And maybe you'll go back and revisit these videos every now and then so that you can hear it again and be able to teach your younger brothers and sisters and friends. Okay? Bye-bye!
Hello. Gee. Smells like there was a rat in here. I didn't think it. Oh, I wonder if Mr. Rattenborough is here. Well, I have to get started. Anyway, I want to just go over some words that you learned in this unit. The first one, you're looking at two pictures. What is the word that comes from both of these pictures? I'll give you a couple of seconds. Now, one's the picture of a park, and the other, the cars are parked. This one you know, I'm sure. Yep, one is the picture of a, and the other is the picture of a fan. And here, what word goes with both pictures? I'll give you a minute on this. First, look at the outer covering of the tree. And what is the dog doing? The word is bark. And what word is in all three of these pictures? Well, what do you think? The duck has a bill. Two ducks have bills. What's that man afraid of? Bills that came in the mail. And what are those dollar things? They're dollar bills. Yes, same word means three different things. And the last one here, what do you see in both these pictures? I see matches, and I see people playing a match. Yes, when you match two teams up against each other, it's called a match. The soccer match. There you go. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review, and let's not forget that there's always more to learn every time you hear. So if you want to give a listen to any of your videos, either about the history of the earth or animals and their habitats, then go ahead and do it. Okay? Bye-bye.